Okay, my friends, here it is. The video that is going to show you everything you need to be growing this upcoming year, 2025. So let us get right into it. Now, all of my selections are with food security in mind, meaning calories, nutrient density, and essentially I plant a garden so that I can thrive, so that I can eat fresh produce all season long. And I cook with it all season long. I'm not a rare plant aficionado or a contestant grower, any of those kind of things. This is all about food security and nutrient density. So here's what I'm growing this year. Number one, potatoes. So we have the potatoes that we've been growing several years now, the Yukon Golds. I don't think I'm going to grow these again this year. They're good if you're a new grower, if you're a new gardener. Yukon Golds are the potato you want to grow. Easiest of all the potatoes. They store well into the winter, no problem. But for me, I'm branching out. I've got so many different varieties that I grow that these are going to take a back seat for this upcoming year. So we'll see. Now, one that I love is the German butterball, and I need to get this thing in some sunlight to start slow down its chit process. So the German butterball is what we're going to grow. Now, it's a long season potato, 100 days, 120 days, but it is my favorite of all the potatoes. I want to be the staple potato, delicious buttery flavor. Now, the other ones are the Austrian crescents, okay? These turned out, I grew them for the first time last year. These turned out to be absolutely delicious. Probably my new favorite of all. And so I'll be growing Austrian crescents. One that I will not be growing is the Viking purple. Despite how the name sounds, I just didn't like the purple potatoes. You make mashed potatoes with them and stuff, and it just kind of looks weird, and the visual thing is just kind of off, and for me they're sort of flavorless. They're just kind of dry and flavorless, so I wasn't really into them. Now another one, okay, is the French fingerling. Okay, you see here we still got, this is how we store them in the basement, and they store all winter long. You can see here that they just store like this, and as we need them, the French fingerling, probably my second favorite. So I'm going to grow German butterballs, Austrian crescent, and the French fingerling. That's all that I need to care about, because as you can see, they store really well. It is February and we've still got all these potatoes. Next thing is sweet potatoes, okay? Start your sweet potatoes now. Start the slips now. Watch my videos on how to start sweet potato slips. Now listen though, last year I didn't start my own slips for various reasons, and I went ahead and bought them from a certain company and got the slips shipped to me. Now, last year, with the slips I got shipped to me, for the first time ever in all the years of growing sweet potatoes, they got this scurf. They got this disease where the plant grew fine, everything was fine, and the yield was fine, but they've got this blackness to them that just is really off-putting. And it doesn't really affect much, except it doesn't make them store nearly as long. So it's not something that you want, and it's not something that I want anymore. So I'm not buying them again. I'm going to grow my own, of course, like I have been doing. And I actually just went to the organic store and got the garnet yams, which is actually a sweet potato. I used to grow these kind. They're wonderful for the home garden, okay? So just go, get you some of these and start them up right now. Because the sweet potato is one of the longest storing and most nutrient dense of all the crops that you can grow. Absolute survival food, absolutely good for you. We eat it all the time in so many different ways. Next, we're gonna have more calorie crops. This year, again, I am growing this cylindra beet, which we ferment like this. Look at these beets, guys, super delicious. Make really good kvass, make really good, these are beets and thyme in brine. Super delicious, very sweet. They don't taste like soil like all the other beets can sort of do. So this is a tried and true classic. Everybody likes this cylindra beets, guaranteed. Now, one that I'm trying for the first time is this, Bettina. If you guys have tried any of these varieties, let me know, okay? Also, let us know in the comments what you are growing, where you're at, what zone you're in, what you're growing, and then read through the comments so that you can see what other people in your area are growing. And let me know if any of these experimental ones, let me know if you have any feedback, okay? But based upon my research, this is gonna be really good, so we will see. So the cabbages this year, guys, I am no longer planting spring cabbages because it just gets too hot too quick and they taste starchy. They're not nearly as good as the winter cabbages, guys. So this is a Brunswick cabbage. That's what you want to plant for the fall garden. Also Gloria Weinkusen, also I think Golden Acres. Those are three very good varieties. The Brunswick is it takes a long time. Watch my shorts that I made last year and you'll see giant Brunswick after some frost. But it just tastes so much sweeter and better after a frost. And we make all kinds of sauerkraut with it. But what I'm experimenting with this year is this Sapporo Giant. All right, so we'll see how big we can get these. We're gonna grow 3 of these, but we're not gonna start them until July. Also, another cabbage is the Mammoth Red Rock Cabbage. Now look, these are the microgreen seeds that I got from True Leaf Market, okay? And you can actually grow them into full-size plants, and that's exactly what I did. You see, we like to ferment. We ferment so many things. And so this Mammoth Red Rock Cabbage, which were microgreen seeds, grow really well into full-size cabbages, and they ferment nice and sweet and delicious. Next thing is the beans, guys. Good calories in beans, okay? So for bush beans, I've settled on the Kalima. I like it the best because they stay tender and they don't have tough strings. I can them like this. I do about 20 or 30 of these to put up over the winter time. Very prolific, very tasty, and they don't get them big, strong strings in them. They stay nice and thin, and that's what we want because some of them can get really fibrous, and some of them turn to mush when you can them, but these retain their firmness, okay? So highly recommend that. But beyond that, pole beans, okay? So rattlesnake pole beans, here we go. We plant these, and these are one of my favorite because you can eat them as a green bean, a snap bean, or let them go and be a dry bean. So if you plant rattlesnake pole beans, like you'll see me do this year in the back, you can eat them fresh like green beans. They do have strings, but you just remove them. Eat them fresh like green beans, and then once you got your fill of them and it's like August, you just let the plants go and they'll get more and more bushy and they'll all dry. Let the whole plant die back and then harvest and shell the dry beans, okay? And you'll get these all winter long. These store indefinitely. Now another really tasty bean is the Good Mother Stallard, perhaps my favorite tasting bean of all. Although I'm not gonna grow it anymore because I can't run it through the pea and bean sheller that I have. I have the Taylor Manufacturing pea and bean sheller. You can look it up. It's old school piece of farm equipment. It's awesome. And the rattlesnake pole beans, ching, 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 put them right through. It's like you hit the jackpot on some slot machine, and it works really good. Good Mother Stallard beans, they don't want to pull through that thing, so therefore I'm not going to grow them again. They're good, but if you're trying to grow a good amount of beans, you need a pea and bean sheller. Next thing, super important, is the onions, guys. Last year was the first year I grew this variety, which became my favorite onion of all. And that is the Rosa di Milano. It's a red onion, very sweet, tangy, flavorful, unlike any other red onion I've ever had. I had to search to find these seeds this year. Baker Creek was not selling them again this year for whatever reason. So you can hit up these people and get them, okay? Super highly recommend this. And a staple is the yellow of Parma. I got tons of onions downstairs still. They store all winter long, pungent sulfuric compounds. All those videos you've seen of mine of the onions with the board method and stuff is the yellow of Parma. Also, I grew the Weathersfield Red. Those are also a good red onion, but the Rosa Milano is better even than all of that. Now, one thing that is, so I totally redid my whole garden last year, okay? So you guys will see all that garden footage coming up. But I had to till up, so I tilled up the whole entire garden. You'll see the footage and stuff, but I had to till up my green onion patch. I tried to save some of them, which is good, but they were getting crowded out. And so I tried to find the king green onions, which I always tell you guys, them nice, thick, big green onions. I couldn't find them. So I think they became renamed or something. So these Ishikura appear to be the same thing. And so I am starting them and growing them. Actually, I just started them. The only thing I've started is some of these onions, and even that is super early, okay? So don't worry about starting stuff. You got several weeks until if you're in zone 4, 5, 6, 7, You got several weeks before you even need to think about that, okay? Other than onions, you can start. Okay, next thing is gonna be the tomatoes, guys. And so I love some paste tomatoes. So we're growing the Roma. I've pretty much just settled on the Roma tomatoes. They produce such beautiful big plants, such good paste. When you cook them, the flavor becomes unlocked when it's reduced. So good. But for fresh eating, we are trying a variety that we had down at Jerry's, the beef farmer. We tried this variety, the hillbilly tomato. It was really delicious. It's like a red and orange tomato, really deep and meaty, and tangy, but not acidic. So we're giving this a try here, and I think we're gonna love it. A staple that I always grow is the purple bumblebees. We will be growing these again. They ferment really well. If you guys have not got on the fermented tomato train, you need to get on it, okay? They ferment really well. They also dry really well and grind into a powder really well for tomato, shelf-stable tomato paste, all right? Do any of you guys have experience with this? I got this free seed variety. Do you think it's worth growing? Should I give it a shot? Let me know. Now, ground cherries, okay, they're in the tomato family. If you have not tried them, you need to try them, guys. Past several years, we've been growing ground cherries, but the thing is, we experimented so much, I forgot exactly which variety we were growing and which variety we liked. And so here we go. We're gonna grow the Aunt Molly's, the New Hanover, and the Mary's Niagara, which is a newer one. So we're gonna grow all three of these. If you haven't grown them yet, it is literally the only annual fruit-like thing that I really know of. So, but only once they're ripe are they going to taste really sweet. So they're called ground cherries because they're ripe when they fall to the ground. It looks like a tomatillo, but it falls to the ground. And once you unwrap it, it is so sweet and delicious. Also, we experimented last year and it's a success. You can dehydrate them into raisins. Yes, nice and sweet. Delicious, very nutritious with all them seeds in there. Easy to digest though. Okay, next thing is peppers, guys. Peppers add the flavor, the depth to the cooking, especially the way that I use them, especially the way that we cook here. And so you will see. Now, I've experimented over the years with so many different kinds. And I have settled finally on for smoked paprika or just straight up slightly sweet paprika, there is no better pepper than the Ivarsky. Okay, it is the pepper that the flesh is so thick and it retains the smoke flavor way better than any of the other peppers that I've experimented with. And it doesn't get bitter, and it's also great for fresh eating. It's nice and sweet, and they're beautiful, big, beautiful peppers. I've made videos where I use these peppers. The plants aren't super big or super productive, but it's worth it. So we're gonna plant like 6 of these this year to make a whole season's worth of smoked paprika. Watch my video on smoked paprika, okay? Now, for hot paprika, we are doing the Lutschauer paprika, and this is an actual, comes from Matrafred, Hungary, this place in Hungary. And so this one is really good. It's spicy though. If you leave the seeds in there, it's spicy, but yet a buttery, sweet flavored spice, if that makes any sense. So we're gonna have the smoked paprika, the regular paprika, and then the spicy paprika. Between these two, you are absolutely set. And I've experimented with lots of them, okay? Now, another one that we're gonna do for fresh eating is the Jimmy Nardello. Last year was my first experience because you guys shipped me some of them. And I thought, whoa, last year I tried like 15 different varieties of peppers. You know, some years I'll do that. And Jimmy Nardello was one of them, and it was pretty much the winner of all as far as sweet flavored. It's the sweetest one we had. It was like a fruit. I mean, it was so sweet, so delicious. Just don't eat the seeds. They're a little bitter. Very good, very productive, okay? So we only need a couple of these plants. Now, another thing is that we're gonna grow some cayennes. For the medicinal properties of the cayenne, we're gonna grind this into our own cayenne pepper classic, okay? But one of the best for stir fries, now last year was my first year with this pepper as well, but I loved it, the fish pepper. The flavor of it is really good. It's not overpowering. So it's a kind of spicy pepper that comes on quick, but goes away quick. It's not like a jalapeno or a Tabasco where it just keeps on staying there for the whole meal. You know, your ears are ringing. This pepper comes on fast, but it goes away fast. And so you can add it with different flavors into your stir fries. So I'm definitely growing that one. Now, here's a list of one of you guys sent me some of these peppers, and so we're gonna experiment, okay? The sweet pepper collage. I already know what the poblano is. I probably won't grow those again this year just because I'm already set. The jalapeno, I am gonna grow some of those because I like to make candied jalapenos, cowboy candy, yes. Be on the lookout for the Cook Like a Viking channel. You'll see how we do all this stuff once we start that channel. Now, this pepper Espletti, do you guys have experience with any of these? The collage or the Espletti or the crimson carillon pepper or the violet sparkle pepper. So I've never even heard of any of these 4 peppers, but I do want to grow them this year at the Viking North Garden. So we're gonna experiment with them. Let me know in the comments if you have any experience with them, what I need to look out for. Are they sweet? Are they bitter? Are they hot? What's the deal? Next thing is the cucumbers, guys. Now listen, I've experimented with so many different cucumbers over the years, and I'm done with the dragon's egg cucumber, the lemon cucumber, and the China jade cucumber. I mean, they all have their strengths and weaknesses, but they're more like novelty, really. You're not getting like that classic cucumber flavor experience. And so one that we do get that classic is that Market More 76. This one just produces straight up cucumbers full of juice because we juice all summer long. We love to juice. So these are going to be fresh eating and juicing cucumbers, whereas the tried and true Chicago pickling cucumber. But these have been a little bit more susceptible than I would like to the disease that the cucumber beetle carries with them. If you see the little yellow spots on your cucumber leaves and then they start wilting, it's the cucumber beetle that has brought the disease. Some varieties are more resistant to them, which some of them have to be hybrids, okay? So we are gonna try the Pioneer, which is an F1 cucumber. It's a hybrid, and it's supposed to be resistant to many of the diseases that are common in this area. And it's supposed to produce lots of good pickling cucumbers. So we're gonna try this one instead of the Chicago pickling. I know, we're gonna go out on a limb and just plant this one. Also, one that was recommended to me is the Straight 8. Do you guys have any experience with that? Is it worth me planting instead of the Market More? The Market More is a classic, and I've always had success with it. Would the Straight 8 be better, or what do you think? Should I just experiment anyways? You only need a couple cucumber plants because they really produce prolifically. Okay guys, so carrots. Now carrots are more of a fall gardening thing for me, although I do plant some in the springtime. Now the Imperator 58, I planted these last year and I loved them. Nice uniform size roots that were very sweet. They never got that woodiness to them, okay? If you grow carrots, you know what I mean when they turn woody and pithy. These never did it, even in the scorching heat of summer. So that's why I bought this super big fat pack of them, okay? So we are definitely planting these. We'll plant a small portion of a bed for the summertime, but then at about middle of July, the 1st of August, we're gonna plant a boatload of them, like 2 whole beds, because we'll overwinter them in the beds. Now, another one that I've had success with is the Neptune carrot. Very tasty as well. One I'm gonna try this year is the Barracuda. It's a hybrid, so we're gonna see. We're experimenting a little more with the hybrids because we don't typically save seeds from the carrots anyways. So in which case the hybrid is not really that big of a deal if you're not concerned with saving the seeds. And so we'll see. Do you guys have experience with any of these? But the carrots are a wonderful crop that you can grow, and then you can just, at the very end of the season, cut the tops off, cover with like a foot or 2 feet of straw so that they don't freeze solid, and then you'll have them well into the winter time. Just pull back the straw and pull out the carrots. That's how we do it here. Next thing's the celery, guys. We love the celery. Now, the past, many years, I've grown the Utah tall celery, okay? And it's a really good celery, it is, but it kind of gets really thin. It can get thin and it can get a little bit woody. So it's been fine. We like juicing cucumbers, but this year I wanted to try some different things. So we got the Tango celery, which is also a hybrid, but it's supposed to be a really succulent, a really tasty, really juicy, really dark green one. Okay, so lots of good things to juice. D'Elne. however you say that. This one, I'm not sure on, okay? So this is supposed to be a refined, reliable French variety, but I don't have that much space in the garden, so I didn't start any of these yet, actually. But what we are gonna do is the giant red, okay? I do have experience with this. I love the giant red. So between the Tango and the giant red, we're gonna be good to go as far as juices go. Do you think I need to plant this one? Do you guys have experience with that? Now guys, the next thing is the melons. The summer would not be complete without the melons, okay? So my favorite of all melons is the Alibaba as far as watermelons go. This thing is a reliable producer, very sweet. It was the best tasting. You know, a couple years ago, we grew like 5, 6 different varieties. It was the best tasting of them all and consistently had the biggest, best fruit to it. So we are gonna grow the Alibabas again, all right? We're also, though, gonna try some seedless watermelons, all right? Now, these are just hybrids, remember, seedless watermelon. This is not GMO by any means, but we're gonna try the triple gold seedless and the Secretariat seedless. But remember, when you plant seedless watermelons, you do need a pollinator watermelon. So one of the best pollinator ones is the Sugar Baby, because they will flower and produce pollen at about the right time where these will need it. But yet with this, you can also eat it. A lot of the pollinator watermelons are not really designed to be harvested. These Sugar Baby are a great harvest. Now here's a couple things that are they're not watermelons, they're like melons, okay? The Sakata Sweet, this thing was super delicious, okay? It grows in a vine and you can grow it up a cattle panel trellis, although it doesn't want to actually climb that well. So it likes to sprawl more, okay? So it will grow sort of up a trellis, but it needs a lot of assistance, okay? But the Maduras, which is super delicious, very sweet. It means honey melon. This one will just straight up climb. This will climb. You don't have to do anything with it, and it will climb, cover the cattle panel trellis. This one, not so much, but it's worth growing if you've got the space because you can eat the whole thing. You can eat it like an apple, literally with the skin. Delicious middle of summer treat, all right? This is delicious as well, but you can't eat the skin. Here's a free seed variety I got. Do you guys have experience with this one? Is it worth growing? Is it gonna be worth growing? Let me know. Next up is the herbs, guys. You need the flavorings in your life, the medicinal properties, okay? We juice tons of parsley. We also use it to make bone broth. A big portion of it goes into the bone broth. We love parsley, in particular for the juice. Giant of Italy is a great variety, but remember, you have to stratify these things, okay? So you gotta put them in the fridge or the freezer, or you can plant them in containers and then put them out while it's still freezing, like right now. They have to experience a cold spell of several weeks before they will break dormancy and grow. Remember that. And then guys, we love basil. We love basil, okay? So the Aroma 2, I'm giving it a try for the first time this year. I don't have that much experience with it, but I'm willing to give it a try, okay? Now, the Thai sweet basil, we've grown many times. I love it, like a licorice kind of sweet anise flavor. Very good if you're used to making Thai dishes. And I lived in Thailand for some time, a couple of seasons. And so I have a real soft spot in my heart for Thai cuisine and Thai flavorings. So we are growing the Siam Queen as well. It's gonna be nice. This one is a little more clove-like tasting. Yeah, if you know what I mean by that. The holy basil, okay, which is also called Tulsi tea. It doesn't taste like any of the other basils. It's completely unique. We grow it for a particular pork fried, stir-fry dish, and also for tea. Very good, okay? Now, cinnamon basil, something my first time growing this year will be cinnamon basil. So let me know if you have any experience. What do you use it in, okay? Lemon basil and lime basil. We got both of them and it's gonna be super good. These were mind-blowing last year, all right? Okay guys, so I'm gonna quickly go through the flowers. These are the Pest deterrent flowers. Now I decided to kind of start fresh again this year because year after year after year of saving seeds has got, I kind of don't know what's going on with the characteristics of everything, and it got kind of jumbled together and everything's just a guess right now. So I'm still saving all those seeds, of course, but I wanted to start fresh with several varieties, okay? So the Purple Prince Zinnia is a beautiful showstopper, very unique. Crackerjack marigold I grow everywhere. They get like 3 to 4 feet tall with these big old blooms on them like that, and not a lot of foliage in that one. Here's a new one to me, Double Sun King Sunflower. Have you guys have experience with that? It's supposed to be a showstopper, okay? Safari Scarlet. Now, I haven't grown that one either. Let me know. Red Sun was an amazing sunflower that we had a few years ago. The Indiana Giant Coxcomb. Yes, grow it. It's very difficult to grow, but if you can get it, it's a showstopper. People will say, what is that? Another one, the nasturtium mix, guys. Plant these nasturtiums all up in the mix. But remember, there's only a couple varieties of nasturtiums that really want to vine and trail across the ground. So you want to get the tall trailing mix, all right? This is the type that will vine out for like 10 feet. Most of the other ones just become a little bush. We got the Ring of Fire sunflower. Let me know what you think of it. Orange Flame, the deep red zinnia, and teddy bear sunflowers, okay? So there you go, guys. That's what we're planting this upcoming year. That does not include the fall garden, though. All the leafy greens and stuff will be more towards the fall garden because I'm done with the stuff bolting in the heat. And so we're gonna do things, time things a little bit differently this year, okay? So be on the lookout for the next video that's coming, which is a nice self-contained seed starting setup so that you can eliminate most of your problems by having a really good seed starting setup. So we're gonna start having videos every week now, long form and short, and then the Saturday live streams all throughout the season, okay? So let me know if you have any questions in the comments, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.